All right, I'd like to call the meeting to order of the CR committee for Thursday, August 14th at 7:09 p.m. Could I have a roll call, please, starting with Emily, who is with us remotely?
Emily Fine.
Selena Thomas here.
Mike Potts here.
And Veronica Cal here. The meeting is being recorded and will be uploaded to YouTube. Is there anybody else that's recording? Okay, hearing none. I'll go on to 1.3, additions or deletions. I do have one of each. The deletion will be 2.2, the discussion with the potential CR holder. Nobody could be here this evening, so I've queried them to see if they could meet on the 21st or the 28th. So just know that. So I think I would like to delete 2.2 if you guys are good with that.
Yep.
So it's okay with you, Mike? Emily, are you okay with that?
Yes.
And the addition is, and we can maybe, I'm gonna do this here, but it's maybe something that we can talk about with the CR. This has to do with herbicide and pesticides being applied to the property. Apparently that's currently happening. I don't know what you know about this or not, Selena, but anyway, so we might want to put something more specific. When we talk about the CR, we can talk about that. So I know there are things in the lease, although I don't necessarily have the current copy of the lease.
I have it.
Was it renewed, Selena? Did we renew it?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's for 3 more years, 25 to 28.
No, it's not. It was renewed in
22, 23,
I believe.
Was it 23?
I'll pull it up.
Okay, yeah, I just wasn't sure of the dates. So anyway, so I'd like to just add a discussion of pesticide application on the fields, if that's okay with you guys.
Is that on the fields?
Pardon me?
You mean on the soccer field?
Yes. So, anybody opposed to adding that?
What number in the agenda should it be?
It would be a discussion under 2.1, review the CR and attachments and applications of organic and biodegradable. I think that's the way it's written in the lease. Organic fertilizers and biodegradable pesticides. Just a discussion of that. Are you good with that? Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Review and approve the meeting minutes for July 10th, 2025. Did everybody receive those? I thought Sabrina sent them out. If you
A
didn't,
while ago, right?
yeah, it's been
okay,
a while
yeah.
ago. Because we were supposed to meet at the end of July and we didn't.
Yes,
So,
I did read them.
I did too. Did you get the mic?
I did, but I wasn't here for the meeting, so I'll have to pass on.
Oh, you weren't here for
Right.
that meeting, so Emily, you wrote them, so you have them.
I wrote them. I've got them right here.
Okay, 1.4, is there a motion to approve the minutes of July 10th, 2025?
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes.
And I will second that motion. Let me just get this written down. Any further discussion of the minutes for July 10th? All right, so I guess how do you vote? Roll call vote to approve the minutes? Yes or no?
Selena Thomas, yes.
Veronica Kelly, yes.
Emily Fine, yes.
Do I vote on this? I think I need to pass on this.
You
one.
say abstain then.
Abstain.
Okay. All right, so the minutes pass then.
In my minutes, do I have to write who abstains? Just,
Yes, you do.
oh, okay.
So Mike abstained because he wasn't present for that
Okay.
meeting. 3 of us, 4. All right, 2.1, review the CR and the attachments. So everybody should have that as well. I don't have the ability
I
to
can
print. You
I
want
can share them.
so TCAM, could you give Selena the ability to screen share, please? Do we want to look at the map first or the CR first?
That's a good question. Which one would you like me to pull up?
I think the CR.
Okay.
How about you, Emily? CR or
Sure.
map? CR.
Whichever one.
Mike, is that good with you?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. You can make it bigger too.
Can you post it without the notes on the side?
Yep.
That version of it. Because I think that's what I sent out to everybody. All right.
Yeah, this is the one you sent out.
Okay, so this is the draft from July 2025. So everything that's highlighted are things that Selena noted. And there were a couple things that I wanted to look at. Number 8 is Massachusetts Endangered Species Act.
What page are you?
I am on, I think it's page 2 of 21. I think I was good with everything down to there. So Emily, do you have, they're talking about a permit number, the conservation and management permit number. Is this the permit that you hold? That was my question on that one.
Let's see, this concert is granted pursuant to set forth.
Or are they talking about
I don't
the
think
act?
so, because my permit, I think I've got it right here, is not called a conservation and management permit. It's called a scientific collection permit.
Okay, so it's not that. So,
No.
so G, we need more information. And this might be something that Mike Jones could help us with. I don't know.
I would think so.
Get clarification.
Who is Mike Jones?
He's the MISA guy.
Okay.
So, Emily, can you contact him and ask him about that?
Okay, so
So
this is part G.
I'm going to
And
be meeting with Misa in the next week or 2.
Oh,
If
okay.
you want, I can ask about this particular item.
I'm good with that if everybody else is.
okay,
So Selena will ask about that.
permit.
My next question was H, and it's not really a question. This is a baseline documentation report that we're gonna have to have done. This is what, we should talk about the grants that are available for funding for that. Because when this gets, placed, we have to have a PBR done.
Right.
And so there will be funds needed there.
Is
And
that
that's where
something?
Marissa might be helpful.
Yeah, is that something that us as the committee need to look for these grants, or is it something the town would?
It would be the town
Okay.
that would be looking for this. but we should at least have an idea of where we're
Yep.
going with it. So, all right, so that comes back when we, get to that point in the agenda. I think it's 2.3. Okay, I says current lease attached. So now let's go to you. What are the dates on the current, lease?
Okay, the lease, was signed in October of 2022, so you're right, it's 22, which means it's coming up again.
Okay, so to October of 2025.
Yep.
Okay,
So October
and,
1st.
all right, and in there, in the lease, there's I don't remember which, but I know it addresses fertilization and all of that.
I
There's
can-
a very brief,
Share
like,
that. and see.
one sentence paragraph, maybe two sentences.
Fertilizers.
Right there. So maybe,
So do you want me to?
about it, yeah. Do you want to talk about that right now?
Yeah, sure. Okay, yesterday morning when I went to check the nests, the gate was closed and there was a handwritten sign that said that the fields were closed. And two um magnets from JB Turf were holding the sign onto the gate. So anyways, I went through there and did my checking. And while I was there, they were working on field one, the first field. And then as I was leaving, they were driving up to the second field. And as I went by the first field, there was one of those caution signs that said, caution pesticide application. So I figured, well, let me go talk to them and find out what kind of pesticide they were using. And so I went there, and at first he didn't want to share that information with me. And then I guess he decided he would share the information. So the herbicide that they were using is called Triad QC Select. And he gave me the specification sheet on it. And what concerned me was under the environmental hazards, it said the chemicals in this product have properties and characteristics associated with chemicals detected in groundwater. The use of these chemicals in areas where soils are permeable, particularly where the water table is shallow, may result in groundwater contamination. Application around a cistern or well may result in contamination of drinking water or groundwater. And he told me that they only do spot application. So, but on the first field, he said they used about a quart of this herbicide. So, anyways, then I looked online about this Triad QC Select and found out that it is not an organic herbicide and it is not biodegradable, and may take years to break down. So my concern is really with that second soccer field being within that circle around the potential town water wells. And also the issue of this chemical should not be used on either soccer field based upon what the lease says. So I'm a little worried about that.
So, just to make you aware, but for the purposes of this committee, I think that what we have in the lease, which is screen shared up there, and then if you look in the CR under the reserved rights, I'm just going to read this out loud. The grantor reserves the right to conduct or permit the following activities, provided they do not materially impair the conservation values or purposes of this conservation restriction. I think I'm at the right place. The use of the area within parcel B3A as a well field and access strip as described in the deed and outlined in the Townsend Town Charter, section 145. I think that should say town bylaws. Section 145-54, groundwater protection district. This is,
What page?
it's page 4. And it's, well, maybe it's 5. Hang on 1 minute. It's page 5. The section starts on page 4, but it's A, reserved rights on premises.
Okay.
Okay, so I think that a combination of the lease and then requiring that once a well is in, anything in the groundwater protection district has to be held, that, or adhered to. And I know that the groundwater protection district says you can't use any bad stuff. So I think that I just want to make sure for the purposes of this committee that we're covered for that. And then we can talk offline about what to do about this. Because I don't know who, does anything with that. So does that make sense to you, Emily? And to you, Mike? And to you, Celine? So I just want to make sure that we're covered, because there shouldn't, anything that harms the groundwater shouldn't be happening. So,
Do you know what the comment was on this section?
I'm gonna go over there. The use of, oh,
It was
it's
just to
it
add
should
this.
say Townsend Town bylaws. Because the charter is separate from the bylaws. This is a nit, but it's an important one. It's the Townsend Town bylaws, section 145-54, groundwater protection district.
Okay.
Everything that's in there should apply to that parcel. Okay. Does that cover it, Emily?
So what that is saying is that I'm not sure because the second soccer field is within that.
So the second soccer field is not within the well section of that parcel.
Oh, okay.
The second soccer field is outside that circle that is the well portion.
This might be a good place to pop up the map.
Yeah, I was just gonna try and find that one.
Because I thought the porta potty was right on the line.
So the porta potty is on that parcel, but field 2 and the end of the driveway that are on parcel 3A or whatever, B3A, they are not in the section that is for the wellhead or the well.
And this CR, well, let's look at the map.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the deed. I think it was in the deed edit.
Okay, so it's just talking about that circle within that parcel.
Yes.
Maybe.
Even the 400 feet, this is outside of it. And the CR will cover the area that TESA does not use.
Right.
Correct.
So the map that's, Selena, it was
So I have that
included
one.
with this, it's that one. That's the map.
Oh, it doesn't show the circle.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, that's
We
all right.
have to go to the map with the deed, but the circle is farther down towards
The
that.
circle starts in this corner. And it goes out, I think, to about here,
Okay.
Right.
if I remember correctly. And if I can find that picture. Thought I had it pulled up.
There's so much.
There are a lot of, oh, you know what? We had it in that first email. Let's see.
So I guess, I just wanted to make sure that we have the whole area covered to not use bad stuff. And I think that, that's being colloquial here. So
Yeah.
I think we're covered in the lease for the soccer field.
But
And I think-
unfortunately, what's in the lease isn't what's being followed.
So that's a separate thing to address.
Here we go.
Okay.
But it does need addressed.
Emily, if they were using 1 quart for an entire soccer field, how were they actually applying it?
They were spot applying it because it's a weed killer. So they would look where, there were weeds growing and that's where they put it.
Zap each weed that they saw?
Were they spraying it or did they have an applicator of some sort?
I don't know. I didn't stay to watch them.
Okay.
All right, so this is the parcel. You can see this half circle here is
Right.
the well area. And you can see it kind of ends with lot 19, maybe, but this square. So if
Okay.
we go back to the other, which is in the other thing. We go back to here. So this is that square that we were looking at. Can you see my mouse?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the well area doesn't go
Okay.
down to where the soccer area is.
But even so, that parcel shouldn't have any, not the parcel that Taysa uses, but
Right.
the parcel that's in the CR. I think we're covered with no pesticides by referencing the groundwater protection district, that anything that is in play in the groundwater protection district has to be in play in the CR. The question is, do we need to be more specific?
So I feel like just above that, there was something about fertilizing and whatnot. Maybe on page 4.
Well, we've used the term pesticide.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
5.
yeah. Applying or using fertilizer, okay.
Yeah, so that's the
fungicides, herbicides, or
prohibited
pesticides in
use.
any
Any
one,
quantity.
so prohibited use in that outside area. So we're covered. We should be good. All right. Okay, so we should I don't have a current copy of the lease, Selena. So if you could, I had asked Sabrina for it just this week, and I haven't gotten it yet, but that's okay. She's been on vacation. If you could send it to her, maybe?
To Sabrina.
Yeah, so
Yep.
we can, because this references the lease and it should be attached.
Yep.
And then your map, can we look at that map again?
Which one?
The one with
The one with the yellow?
Yeah. Okay, so I know you have plans underway for this, so you can push back, but there is an open space between the two fields. why, I guess my question is, why isn't that farther field moved closer to the first field? Was that discussed at all?
It was discussed.
Okay.
Mostly it is due to the cost of, we would have to not only build more fields than we are currently planning on, we would also have to take out the field 2, and to be able to return it to natural state. So it is a very exorbitant cost to move that field.
Okay, all right. I was just curious.
Wasn't there a plan to build a third field in that space?
So the plan is to build a third field close to field 1. So field 1 is here. The road that comes in is down here, comes from Mason Road. And we want to build another field in this space right next to field 1. Actually, I have,
We've
the
looked at this
plan.
map.
yeah, I can pull up, where is that plan? This is, okay. So this is not looking at the entire property. This is just looking at where the 2 existing, so this is field 2, the further one in, down. You can't
So
see
this is looking at the yellow, the area within
the
the
area
yellow.
that's in the yellow in that other map.
Okay.
So over on the left side is field 2. On the right side is field 1, and Mason Road is all the way to the right. So this area that's outlined in blue and gray shaded, that is where we are going to build more field space. The red is some additional parking that goes out to Mason Road. And then we're putting a fence area around some naturalized area in between the new field and the existing field 2 that's on the left.
So does that mean no one will use that space, the naturalized space?
Right,
in
it's
between?
just gonna, the only access that will happen there is that we will maintain that space so that like it doesn't get overgrown with trees. We'll just keep it the sandy scrub area.
Okay,
And this is what National Heritage asked us to do, which is why we did it this way.
okay. All right, so that answers the question of not moving that field.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions?
Anybody have any questions?
Yeah,
Yes, I do. I'm Jim Craven. I bought the property of the Concord Cooperative Bank in March of 1990. And I bought it as a partial sand and gravel removal operation with a subdivision all drawn out. That subsequently, we ended up with, I believe, 14 houses here. I'm not quite sure how many houses there. That was all approved by the town, by the bank, and that we were going to do 2 soccer fields. We got through all of this project. I got shut down for 5 or 6 years because they thought I was infringing on the Squanicook District. I never can say the word, but Mr. Sisters. But we found that they took me to court. We had to have the state come out. The state said that we were not in the bounds of that Squanicook Sisters.
it was it the Squanasset area of environmental concern or whatever, ACEC?
Yes. So anyway, they said it was where we were doing anything was in the proximity of Walker Brook. And if you go up on the hill, you can almost see where Walker Brook and Squanicook.
Join.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, they let me reopen, and after being closed for that great time frame, we worked very hard and diligently to get both soccer fields made. We had put a material on there that I had trucked in from wastewater treatments at that time, and the town made me take it out. And we did remove that. Gary Shepherd was here at the time. This is the time that Gary Shepherd and I had a meeting down there, and we left the meeting, and he got in an awful accident. And this is, like I say, 22 or 23 years ago. So we redid the soccer fields, both of them. Put all good loam and materials that were native to Townsend area. So we redid the fields. At that time, we had the discussions on the turtles, and I had no problem with the turtles, and I don't think anybody else did at the time. We didn't make up any bylaws for the turtles. They had been there before I went there. We never disturbed the habitat that is up on the top of the hill where they living now. And somewhere along the line, I don't know where I was, I might have been on vacation, but they did come in with a bylaw that you might know to protect the turtles at that time.
No, there's no,
Yeah,
that's
No.
why we're doing what we're doing.
yeah,
There
I
is
think this
nothing.
is what they're trying to do now, but Veronica, it looks like from,
But I don't wanna, excuse me, I don't want to subject that land, the soils, or anything with fertilizers, pesticides, or anything else that was gonna get in our water supply, because we do have that. And all through this procedure, when I was down there building houses, Bob Hotelin was checking that pipe to see if there was any contamination or anything, because we had a lot of equipment on the property.
Mhm.
He was the superintendent at that time. Never had an issue. We finished up the soccer fields, and I sat down with Marilyn McEachran, who was town clerk at the time, and my attorney, plus Jim Riddle. And we thought that we had a foolproof deed to give to the town for future ball fields. We discussed a soccer field, we discussed a softball field. So we had the room to put up those facilities. They left it at just the two of them, because Gary and I were ready to put in a third soccer field, just about the way that you have a position now.
Yeah.
So there should be nothing that allows any more contingencies on the property, whether it be conservation or the heritage or whatever. I believe that we've got enough there now to protect turtles, or how many more that they have in a period of time, I have no idea. But I would object to any more people getting their fingers around the project. I want to see a soccer field go in, and I think that
That's
there's a
what
lot of other people that do want to see the soccer field.
I think there are. I don't think there's anybody opposed to that.
Is there
at all.
an objection to the soccer field now?
No, it is all just that we have to have things in place for permitting. So,
Patient game,
yep, the MISA, the Massachusetts Endangered
I
Species,
understand that.
we have to
I should
work with them, and we have to work with the National Heritage.
So I'm not fully understanding what they have to give their blessings to.
Because the entire area is considered habitat for endangered species,
Yes.
they have to give us a permit to build the third field.
so while they have to give the permit, and Veronica, maybe you can clarify, have you pushed back from your earlier meetings of the conservation restriction to a smaller portion of
That-
the entire?
The conservation restriction will be outside the yellow. So the yellow is
Is where the,
is what Tesa
And
is
somebody just pointed
expanding.
out exactly.
It's a little
where we're
hard.
Yeah,
Selena, could you just come
I'm
up?
going half blind. beside you.
right?
Yeah, it's a little hard to
It's
see.
light, but
Yeah,
it's easy to see if you have it here on your screen, but up there.
Yes, So the
So-
existing, basically the area from,
That's consistent
Yeah,
about.
the
what,
furthest
20
field.
acres?
roughly.
So you've switched it from taking the entire parcel and putting it,
Yes,
okay, so
yeah.
that's very helpful.
We want to make it so that
Yeah.
the things you wanted to happen on that field is preserved.
And that's,
And so the area that's the soccer fields, the yellow areas outside that will be governed by the lease that the town has with, TESA or whomever in the future it is, but it's TESA now and for the next N years at least. And so I don't see that changing, but who knows? And then to protect the water rights, so we, in the CR, so the water area is part of the CR, but that will be, handled, because we do have a water protection district, and all of it's well written, and it has everything that it needs in it. And then the town, and then there's the, habitat that has to be protected. So the town will still retain ownership of the land.
Yeah.
All this does is
Every bit of
is
it. There's
prevented.
no division of any portion of that land that would go to conservation or anything else. The town still physically owns it.
Owns it.
Because see, my thought, not to keep interjecting, but way back when Marilyn was the town clerk, we had discussed multi-housing down there, as well as the soccer fields. The area, because there's water there, and because the sand's such good quality, they could build a system for a 24 unit, let's say, so that they could have a treatment facility and still have housing there. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't
Have you gone
think
into that at
in
all?
this day and age that anybody would approve housing on the remainder of that property, especially given that this was part of a open space preservation
Yeah.
development.
but I think, Deb, what they started was, from your earlier meetings, the whole lot was going under.
Right,
Right,
we
and you
were
backed
just
away from
looking
that.
at it
Yeah.
and what worked, what makes sense, what
Yeah.
doesn't make sense. And we,
Will people with what they're doing now, building this another soccer field, what they really need, can they still have, without going through hell and high waters, to get a soccer field in addition to 3? Could they get a softball field? Because we had talked about these things earlier. It was a whole different program. I'm talking 35 years ago. I'm talking 1949, 1991. So there's a lot of years that a lot of water has gone under the bridges and a lot of topics of conversation. But I look at Veronica, I look at myself, we're not getting any younger. There's a lot of people in this town that will need housing. We have to find it
Well,
someplace.
Yeah.
we are working on
Yeah.
that, we really are. But for this, yeah, we want to make sure that the uses that were in the lease are the uses that are still permissible on this property, and that we do it in a way that makes the most sense.
Sure. And so the area now that's gonna be cordoned off with the fence, will be restricted. What about the rest of the area, like up on the hill where the turtles go? Is that gonna be totally
no,
restricted, or can you still
Well,
walk
we're
through there?
hoping to keep people, do you want to talk about that?
Like off the hill, but still be able to
We want them
walk
to be
through.
on the path.
path? Yeah.
And we're
And
hoping with
that's-
signage, we can, so go ahead.
yeah, it's in here under the allowed uses.
Are people able to walk up the top of the hill and still
Yeah.
Yeah,
On the path.
see the
Yeah.
visit
Yeah.
on the top?
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they could multiple.
It's in
I
here.
appreciate that. It looks like you've come a long way from the earlier meetings, and I
Well,
did
I
miss a
think it
couple.
Yeah,
was,
here it
the
is.
meeting that you attended before might have
We were
been our
very second
second.
one, yeah.
And we had to look at everything and figure out what
Yeah.
made sense and talk to a lot of
And that's why we
people.
wanted to come to you
and
and see kind of
where
where
we
things were
are.
progressing to.
Yeah,
Just to see at what point it stands at now with the state
Yeah,
and federal grants or monies that may be promised from the state or the federal people. I don't wanna lose those contacts, but I don't wanna see the whole package down there under the control of.
Oh, no, it won't be. Oh,
Yeah.
we're hoping, well, there are grants.
I'm gonna do a friendly public records request, because I couldn't find some of the stuff online, just so he can see it,
Yeah,
and hopefully we can get that.
yeah,
for you.
this draft is available. I mean,
Yeah.
this is a public record.
We're
This
gonna
draft
read
is
some of
available.
the
The
allowable
map is
uses.
available.
Yeah, so there's the allowable use of,
Allowable uses.
Say that. it-
marking,
She's gonna
So we
read
need
some
to-
of the allowable uses, which will pertain to a lot of paths and
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
Allowable uses is a good way to put that.
Yeah, and it does look like the map that she had up encumbered most of the usable space for fields that was there anyhow now, which is
Yeah.
really different from the earlier meetings that we had.
Okay.
So the new map that Selena showed tonight, and you might have had it for another meeting that we couldn't attend. But this, while it's really faint, I'll get a copy of that for you, Dad. And it's a good portion of all of the usable space for fields.
Which was 43 acres of usable.
Yeah.
After the subdivision was pulled
Yeah, it
out.
was just about 43.
42,
Oh, perfect.
43.
Can I have this copy?
And if I
Yeah.
have, I'll give you this, if I
Yes.
have, is this the one that
So
I'm not
this is-
always sure that what
Yeah.
I have is what we're
This
looking
is
at.
well ahead in proximity to this all this.
Right up about here, right?
July.
I think
Yeah, I think that is it.
Is this it?
Okay,
Let
okay.
me
this
just look
was
at
the-
page,
This is
was
something
it
that,
page 5?
right around here, there was like the drill site.
it's in the upper
It's
corner.
got
And the wellhead is
corner.
way up in the top.
It's the corner, and then it's a 400-foot,
Yeah, 'cause
like,
that's
where
radius.
that is, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the drill of the 400 feet right there.
Okay.
So all the usable space here.
Well, this yellow,
So this will be the field space.
okay.
Outside
You can
of
have
that.
this too. That's what we're looking at. That's the
perfect.
document that's up there.
That will save Harrison some time, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
But to answer your question about if is there space for a third soccer field and perhaps a softball field, that seems unlikely.
Right, if it's.
Yeah.
No,
it's-
Yeah. And if you're gonna put a well in there.
Yeah.
Well, and also-
Without talking any housing for the elderly, that we had the room and we walked it, I had my engineers, so I named names at the time, but we did walk the property and figured out where we could put that third soccer field and a baseball field. May not have been an official side, but it would have been something like I did at Cravens Field when we first did that. It was more for the juniors.
Mhm.
So
This is helpful.
we were gonna look at where where the allowable uses.
Yeah, so allowable use, number 7, it's on page 6.
Can you hear her?
No, not good.
All right, nice and loud.
Not in my head, because I figured I'd try to.
You wanna come up closer?
I should.
Yeah.
So an
Need a cane now too, so.
an allowable use, on page 6, allowable use number 7 is the marking, clearing, mowing, or maintaining of footpaths and wood roads existing that are shown on the plan, and described in the BDRS,
The
baseline
documentation report.
Because I noticed I used to go up mainly to that where the Shaw's dumpster is. There was a pathway, and that's how I've been going up there over the years. And is that
So
in,
the path, as far as I know,
Let's say
if
the,
you go all the way to the end of the parking spaces, there, you go up the hill there's the
Okay.
path there. And the intent is to put up some signage to make it very clear that this is where the path
so you will
is.
be able to walk, when you get up
Yeah.
that path from the dumpster, you'll be able to walk left?
Yep.
And right?
Yep.
Okay.
Um,
Sounds good.
can,
Go
On-
ahead, Ellen.
on, part 7 there, where it says mowing, that's a major cause besides roads. Mowing is the second major cause of killing of turtles. So, I think if we just include marking, clearing, and maintaining of footpaths, but not mowing of the footpaths in that area. That would be safer, yeah. Eliminate
So,
mowing.
Mowing.
And besides that, you
We-
don't mow footpaths.
Yeah,
No.
And-
it would-
Yeah.
Going up a hill and through the woods.
we
Right.
also did say in the not allowed that mowing was not
Not
allowed, so
allowed.
we
Right.
just missed that.
And feel
Right, so we don't want to contradict ourselves.
Right, good catch.
Right. Maybe we could get the Appalachian clubs up there to mark out pathway. Bring them back.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just being super. But anyway, it sounds better than I thought that it might be. So as long as we're not giving,
Yeah,
I just don't wanna overgive to the conservation of the state. But I don't
Right.
want it I don't want it to get in the way of not being able to get grants and
Yeah.
whatever, that the town needs that type of money, so.
We're hoping that we're good with it.
Yes,
We
Yep.
really are hoping that it preserves the uses, no matter who's in office, that it works
I like
in
that.
town,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
like
and that
that,
it,
no matter who is in office,
right,
cause 20 years can go and all of a sudden somebody else gets a brilliant idea and so
Yeah.
on and so forth. We've all been there.
and so that's the thought. And it was also suggested by NISA in order for the expansion of the fields to happen.
Yep.
So, anyway,
And
and
once,
the town wants the expansion of the field, so.
once these restrictions are accepted and locked in place, it's forever.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
No, I understand that, but sometimes another regime gets in and don't realize a lot of those things.
I
So
think this will be tight enough so that that can't happen.
hopefully,
Veronica, does this have to get at a town meeting too?
No,
Okay.
it doesn't require a town meeting. It does require a select board vote. So what happens typically is you go back and forth with, NISA or DEP, back and forth to get the wording right so they understand what everybody wants. We also have to get a holder in place.
you have to get you one.
A CR holder,
Yeah. And who, I know they didn't come tonight, but who is in?
North County. We're hoping for North County Land Trust. That we don't know.
Okay,
We don't have a full commitment yet. I should probably not even say that.
sure.
But we've been, working with Fish and Game, who has said no, they won't hold because of the well on the property. North County has held properties that have wells on them, town wells. And we're also working with, Nashua River Watershed, NISA. So, and hopefully we can get funding for the BDR through either them or the Merrimack Conservation Collaborative.
And then on the map, you have outlined with the yellow, how far off of the field is that yellow? How much of a buffer do you have for like kids playing or beaches or like a play set or a walking path around? How much leeway do you have there?
So the bottom edge is along the roadway. And it goes out to the edge of field too. There's gonna be a fence along that edge of the field,
There'd be a fence
along the field.
along the field,
Yeah.
field or fields.
Let me pull up the
Yeah.
field map. Have to switch because that's a PDF.
I'm trying to get to, cause I don't even think people up there living on Horseshoe Drive have any fences along.
Well, they can still go on the property. It
Okay,
more protects the soccer field than anything. I mean,
Yeah.
the rest of the property won't be fenced.
And I should say the
Okay.
fence is
Okay.
a split rail kind of fence.
uh-huh.
So it'll be easy to,
Yeah.
go over, but it delineates the property, edge. So that's here. Okay. So, Um,
I'm just gonna walk up it.
yeah. Actually, I have that printed out as well, if that helps anybody, although it's small.
It's not permitted yet though, is it?
Right, it's not
Yeah, it's not
Permitted.
permitted.
This is the-
So,
current plan that we have to bring to MISA and to National Heritage to get approved.
Does that give you enough space around?
There is a pathway also
Yes.
from, Horseshoe
Okay.
Drive,
Because the
after I think the third,
section toward
Fourth House
Horseshoe
in,
Drive,
there's a pathway that
there's
should
space
show
there.
there that goes to the back of the
I don't want people
first soccer field.
speaking.
We follow me.
Yeah, I think on another map, it shows it. It's a long skinny,
Yeah.
right of way, kind of between two properties. Yeah,
This one here.
right here.
Oh, you got it, yeah, right there.
and the water department has said that in the future,
That's the one.
who knows who's gonna be in charge of the water department in the future, because, you know, it could be 10 years, 20 years till they put a well up there. But that they would run water if soccer needed it, they said
Yeah.
they.
So one last final question
Down
that I
those
have,
little, you know,
one last question I have, is there any issues that are gonna stop this other soccer field from going in?
So
Is-
right now, we need to work with the state to get the permits.
And this is Fish and Game,
Not Fish and Game, it's MISA, MESA, and
not,
Natural heritage.
there were
Thank you.
letters to go with that, NHESP.
So I am
NEHP then?
NHESP.
Natural Heritage Endangered
Endangered
Species
Species.
Program.
So I have to work with them. I'm meeting with,
I'm just trying to think why, when I was sitting with Marilyn McEachran, that we never protected that area where we were gonna build a third soccer field. Cause it seems like now, I couldn't just go in and say as a gift, I'm gonna do this third field.
once we get the permits, you can.
You got me.
So
Once you get the permit, but
now,
we don't know when that is gonna be.
I don't know. I've
Cause we'd
been
like to,
working on this.
would
quite a
like
while.
to see that soccer field started this year.
Yes, my hope would be to get it started in November when we are allowed to start breaking ground on the property. I don't know whether or not that will happen though, because
Well, I'll
It's
keep
taken a
in
long
touch
time
with
to
you
get
now
here.
that,
Right, because we have to get this conservation restriction done as a step towards getting the soccer field, the third soccer field going.
so
So
the
we have to do this first.
question is a suggestion, though, it can't be a mandate, correct? So if no one,
What do you mean?
so they can, as a part of the permitting, suggest it, but they cannot mandate it. So if you cannot find the holder, can you show due diligence of following these steps?
There will be other plans that need to be written and filed at the registry, I think.
yeah, it was my understanding that this didn't have to be complete in order for us to work on getting permitting. That they could be done in
Right.
conjunction,
'Cause
but
it's-
I don't know.
Yeah, because it's just my understanding, they can't mandate it, they can suggest it. And so if the town can't meet the mandate, if it doesn't happen, if you do due diligence to have all of the pieces in place, permitting still should be allowed, even in a critical resource area. So you
They
shouldn't,
can. if-
I know
if-
they can be tricky,
They
but-
can opt not to permit it
right, but we can also,
and not
Other-
necessarily say that it was for a particular reason.
Right.
If that
If-
makes any sense.
if the town is, and you're doing due diligence, you're trying to put
We
all the
are.
right pieces in place. But if they don't wanna proceed because of if there's not a particular person to come forward for the conservation restriction entity,
Holder.
holder,
Yeah,
that we can then do other type of advocacy to promote the permitting if it comes to that.
but it won't be in perpetuity. And it becomes very dependent on whoever knows what documents exist, and that's the
True.
negative.
True,
That is the negative of that.
but we
Um,
also wanna see the field get done.
And I think
yeah, I think it
that
will.
we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I made a note, 'cause that's a very good question. So when I'm meeting with the two groups, I will make sure to ask this question.
Yeah, because they can suggest they can't mandate it. And so,
But they can strongly suggest.
they can strongly suggest, but as you pointed out, there's also a fiscal component to
Yeah.
this that then becomes an unfunded mandate
Right.
on a municipality, which the state really can't do. So I don't want the field progression and something that benefits the community, despite the best efforts from the committee, to not happen based on restrictions from the state that can be alleviated in another fashion.
Right.
And so we would be there to help advocate in another fashion, so there be obstacles placed in the way of the soccer field proceeding.
Well, hopefully,
Yeah,
it will all fall into place.
How much more paperwork do you have to get this thing up and running?
We're pretty close. We really are pretty close to, no, it's not a whole lot of,
It's not a whole lot.
it's the documents that are right there.
I think they've
Basically,
done their part.
Yeah, you don't have the lease there, but when we wrote the lease 3 or 4 years ago, we wrote it to allow expansion of the soccer field.
You did write that lease at that time then?
Yeah, specifically to allow
Right.
it
I
to
think
go
we came to that
forward.
meeting.
and to make it easy to re-sign the lease.
Right.
So that it would, because we're stuck with 3 years, but we could do a repeat of N3 of numbers.
Right.
So we did what we could to allow this expansion that's, in progress to go forward.
Work in progress.
Yeah,
So it sounds like your work is almost done.
with this.
Yeah, at this point. Okay.
Yes, so then it will be getting the BDR done, the baseline documentation report, which means someone goes out and says, this is what it looks like, and takes
Yeah.
pictures of all the corners, and really the job of the CR holder is just to go out there once a year and make sure that what the town wanted is actually happening.
Do you have an approximate cost of what that? would
This
be?
is,
A BDR usually costs anywhere from 1,000 to
Oh, so
8,000.
not horrible.
It's not horrible, no,
Okay.
no, it's not. And then, it depends on how the organization is funded, whoever holds the CR. I mean, I've worked with New England Forestry Foundation, nothing was, they just go out and do it. They have it's part of their mission and what they
They're
do,
well funded.
and they just go out and do it.
Okay.
Once a year. It's, it's what the properties manager for that organization does. And then provides a document at each of the corners that are marked in the BDR that says, so you know when there's encroachment or that sort of thing. And just to make sure that things are as is. If in fact things are not as is, they work with the CR holder and the property owner work together to figure out how to resolve it. So, and the town is the property holder. So,
Well, thank you all for your work on this. I know it's been a lot, and I appreciate.
yeah, it
you
has.
Come and ask some questions and get the updates.
Yeah, it still bothers me to some degree that when Marilyn and I wrote up the agreement to the town, purchase and sale or whatever, I think I got $1 for it, that whatever, everything was etched in stone so that they could continue with another soccer field or a baseball field. That's okay. That was wishful thinking, I guess, but because Marilyn's gone now, so she can't verify what I'm talking about.
Well, it sounds like it'll happen, it's just that it won't be an or baseball field, it'll be a
Right.
soccer field.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, good, they need another soccer field. Yeah, because there's good people that are heading up the program now as it stands, so, yeah, I'm happy to see it being used, that's
Oh,
the
yeah.
main key. Yeah. Anyway,
All right.
we take
Thank
another.
you.
So thank you.
Thanks for coming in, Mike.
Mike, and I'm Jim.
Yeah. Thanks for coming in, and I'm glad that we can clarify
Yeah,
things to your
yeah,
satisfaction.
You seem very sociable enough to talk to anyway, that's a kind of the key. Yeah, we also.
Yeah, well, we have new documents in
Oh,
hand
okay.
and, I know you guys are gonna talk about funding if you,
And, yeah,
You must live in town.
it's
then
much less than
somewhere.
I thought, so, but if
Bitten
you. I
Pond,
know
yeah, it's,
Oh, do you?
There's
Yeah.
a lot to do.
Oh, you better do
oh, yeah.
well, we have,
Did you buy it in the last 14,
because
15
it's
years?
Headwaters.
No, my
Historical
wife's
National
parents
Watershed is on
Academy
board,
fans.
and they
Oh,
have
yeah.
that Marion started Greenway
That's right,
program.
my wife's parents,
They couldn't be
bought
here
the
tonight,
property up there,
but
Clark,
they
in
will be,
1945,
and they're
when my
very,
wife was a year
Yeah.
old.
you know,
And so,
interested.
we
And
now
then
have
the
converted it
Merrimack
into a house.
Collaborative
and that's-
Conservation Partnership is another
Because I
fund.
had the opportunity.
I'm afraid we're gonna miss this deadline because I think it's
That sold
the 24th of
15,
August
16
is in
years
my head.
ago, you remember
But they
that?
come out with,
And,
different, you know,
yeah.
different
And then
times
I
of
don't
the
know
circles.
where it went after
Yeah.
that.
But
Well,
always
state-
have a,
state,
you know,
fine.
write those,
The
because I know
state did.
That's right.
Yeah.
But there was a developer
Very
named
hard to
Kylie,
figure
I don't know, I
stuff.
forget his first
So
name,
this has been
Kylie,
helpful,
do you
thanks
know
for
a
the
developer
documents.
named Kylie?
You're
You
welcome.
definitely come
Kylie?
a long way.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
we have, we've done a lot of work.
Yeah,
he actually
Over the
owned
course
it.
of the
Girl
past
Scouts
4
sold the
months or
property.
so.
yeah.
Kylie
I'm sorry,
bought
I
it,
missed the other meeting.
was
Figure
thinking
out
about putting in a
What made
development.
sense, what, we looked at a lot of
And
different
then,
options.
the state
Yeah.
offered him enough money
And-
for it, so it never
We
happened.
think this is the best.
And so
All
the
right.
state
All right, we'll let you finish.
was able to join,
Thank you.
Willard Brook and Pearl Hill, so now they're conjoined, and that property is what joins the two. So the state,
So been going, there's that made a merge.
well, Pearl Hill
Pearl Hill, yeah.
and Willard Brook now are joined together because the state
Yeah.
bought the property.
I want that property quite a bit, actually, because I live right on, Main Street, on the front, and I'm only a mile and a half down to headquarters. Yeah, and then I take a rise off and down to Big Pond. I love the area. They made a movie of it.
Excuse me, can we continue? I
Yeah.
just have to get to sleep eventually.
All right.
Nice talking to you. Thank you.
Okay,
So I think, all right, so review CR and attachments is pretty much where we are. Is there, where are we at with that?
Yeah.
sorry, Emily, once I get talking, you know.
VII, page 6, and we have how many pages?
There's 21, but the last, like, I don't know, 8 of them or so are the signature pages, so they don't really. Legal and injunctive relief, I think pretty much everything else were things that, are pretty standard.
So was there anything else anybody, saw in this that they wanted to review specifically?
I think I got the pieces I wanted. Oh, here it is, homestead. The grantor attests that there is no residence on or abutting the premises included.
Where are you looking?
Page 12. I just wanted to, by a spouse for children of the grantor. This is standard stuff that gets put in. It's 2, it's miscellaneous. You know, these are these are things that are kind of standard. And
Yeah.
I don't know if we need them, if they, this is something that when we get a little further, we'll have town council review. I
Right.
think. But it's the homestead thing. It doesn't really apply here, but what I don't know is if we have to leave it in or not.
Okay.
It's a standard thing. And I've never done a CR that wasn't, that didn't have a house on it, you know, so.
So yeah, I think we just need to check with town council about those type of things that are in there.
Right. We should have as exhibits, I think we should put the lease. The description of the premises would be, your map, the deed, I think, and, reduced copy of recorded plan of the premises. But I think we should have an exhibit C, the lease. Although do we? Because the CR does not cover, but we reference the lease in here. So the question is, do we need an exhibit C, the lease with the town?
I think if we reference it, we should have it there.
See, current lease attached. It's that.
Yeah.
So if it is, we should have an exhibit C, the TESA lease with the town. The only problem with that is this gets recorded at the Registry of Deeds, and that lease could change over time.
So do we need to
Yeah.
include the lease if we're including the picture that is called the soccer complex, which is the map?
I don't
Is there a
think
way
we
to
need
word it so that it isn't just for the soccer? It can be any entity that leases it?
I think we just leave that out. And we let someone down the road figure that out if it ever changes. You know, if it becomes a baseball field in 35 years or something.
Right,
I-
yeah, so just eliminate current lease attached.
Yes, I think we should take that out. Because that way we aren't, you know, hamstringing a lease to the property, so. Okay, all right, then I
So
think we're
then-
good.
If we're not saying that it's always going to be soccer, so providing just
Say playing field,
playing fields,
yeah.
okay. And we do need exhibit, the TISA expansion plan exhibit.
Yeah, we do need that. So that's exhibit C, the TESA expansion plan.
Okay,
Oh, it says CPA, this is not a CPA purchase. So exhibit C is not the town or city vote. It would just be the TESA expansion plan. And
is
I would-
exhibit B, is that the deed?
That is the plan of land that goes with the deed. A would be the deed, the description of the premises, the picture that, you can put more than one thing in there for exhibit A. Yes, I agree with you.
And exhibit B,
The exhibit B is the plan of land that is currently, filed at the Registry of Deeds with this deed. And we have that, in one of the emails early on, it's in there. And then exhibit C is, we should put the TESA expansion plan,
okay.
because we reference it, correct? Yes,
Exhibit
C.
C. I feel like it was somewhere else too. Registry of Deeds. There.
Okay. All right. And then the rest of this is all the signatures. This says acceptance of grants by the Conservation Commission, but typically it's the, because, well, it depends on who we're making this to. It would be the, grant by, it's usually the select board that signs. I don't know, we'll see, we'll leave that as is, because I think the select board is down further.
Where are you looking right now?
Look at the last page, it's page 16. And we may need the Conservation Commission there, but they're not the holder, because they can't be the holder. This is
Right.
typically the holder of the CR, which is usually a Conservation Commission when the land isn't owned by the town. So this would probably be whoever is the holder of the CR.
Right. So it wouldn't say acceptance of grant by the Townsend Conservation Commission. It would be acceptance of grant by whoever is the holder.
CR holder, correct. Typically, your CR, typically if the land is owned by a private individual, and it would be the Conservation Commission that would
Right.
hold it in this case. So, right. Okay, I think we're about as far as we can go with this for now, unless somebody sees anything else. We can, this will be on the next agenda as well. So.
So are we going to skip section 2.3 also?
What page?
Section 2.3 of the grant funding. Oh, on the agenda.
Oh, on
Sorry,
the agenda.
I thought we were done with this.
Okay, all right. So let me go to that. 2.3, grant funding possibilities. There's a Merrimack Conservation Partnership and the Marion Stoddard Greenway Program. And we do have the stuff for that. I think maybe we want to review it for our next meeting. We're getting up to 8:30 here. And I would like to have, Anna and Ann and Marissa here to discuss. Anne is not going to be involved as far as CR holding, but advising. You know, she was willing to look at it. And I don't even know if she's advising as a fish and game person. This might just be as a town resident who is a fish and game person. But anyway, all right. So I say we move 2.3 to our next meeting. So our agenda next time would look almost exactly like what we have here. It would be more comments on the CR, if any of us, or if you get answers to questions.
Yep.
When you talk to Lisa. So basically the same agenda, but review the Merrimack Conservation Partnership and the Stoddard Greenway Program with the baseline development report in mind. That's what I have in mind for that, because we do need a way to fund it. And then, so that's the agenda for the next meeting. And the next meeting, I was thinking I was going to do next Thursday and the next Thursday. We might not meet both times, but whichever one that our partners can come to, the CR partners. So are you guys available, or is there a better time?
We can go both.
I might be a little late next Thursday. I'm gonna be in Westford until 6:30.
Oh, wow, okay.
So
Should we make it 7:30 on the 21st? Or should we just go ahead without you?
I think you guys could get started without me, and then I'll just, I mean,
Long day for
Westford's
you.
a half hour, so I could conceivably make it if there's no traffic
Okay.
snafus. Because I don't want you guys to stay late if you don't have to.
You and your computer are a critical part of this, so we
Yeah.
don't want you to be,
That's right.
you split the difference, 7:15.
Well, I'm fine going later, but I'm also a night owl, so.
Oh,
That's what I'm up to.
3.
All right, so let's do 7 and I'll see if people can attend.
Okay.
So either in person or in Zoom. So. All right. Anything else? All right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Wait,
Let me-
Selena moved. Wait a minute.
Yes.
And who seconded?
Mike?
Mike,
Okay.
and it is 8:25 PM.
Okay.
And we opened at 7:09, I think it was.
We need to
Yes,
do the.
7:09.
Yes.
Do we have to vote on adjourning?
We do, yes, and we need a roll call vote, so.
Selena
Yes.
Thomas, yes.
Emily Fine, yes.
Mike Process, yes?
Veronica Cal, yes, and with that, we are adjourned.